So thank you everyone who has already sat down and is taking some time to join this session. I was told to tell you that you should put on your headphones if you want to have the best experience. Otherwise, you won't really hear that much, but it's up to you guys. So my name is Carl Standerschold, and I am a senior field and partner marketing manager at Algolia. We're a search and discovery platform. I'll tell you a little bit more about us in a little bit. And I'm joined here today with David McDonald, who is the digital product director at BT. And so he has a wealth of experience as a product leader. And he makes it his mission to solve big customer-centered problems. So it's going to be a really good session. And it is a fireside session, so we will be having a discussion together. And we'll dig in a little bit to talk about David's background, how EE has transformed to kind of create a more user-centric website, what they're doing with their mobile app. We'll focus a bit on discoverability as well. So looking a little bit at the past, the present, what's coming in the future as well. And hopefully we have time for a few questions at the end. So I'm expecting you to prepare some clever questions for David. What else? So just for sort of the benefit of all of you guys, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Algolia. So maybe first, hands up if you've heard of Algolia before. Okay, a few, not many, and often that's quite common because we don't really have branding, but actually you'll be surprised to know that most of you have actually probably shopped with Algolia before online. Let me show you some details. So we essentially are a search and discovery platform. So we are a system that sits behind all the dynamic products and content on your site. So think dynamic homepages, search of course, which is we're most known for, but collections, card recommendations, and so on. So we are really a sort of relevancy engine sitting between your content and your customers. And we power 1.75 trillion searches per year. So that makes us, after Google, the second biggest search engine in the world. So we're 4 times bigger than Yahoo, Yandex, Bing, and DuckDuckGo combined. We have 17,000 customers. 8,000 of those are commerce customers. And we're the search provider for a lot of great big global brands like LVMH and Walgreens and so on. That's about it for the introduction. So now we're going to kick off the session. So let me just, sorry, I have my mobile just so I don't forget the questions. I know it looks a bit funny, but I just want to make sure I'm asking the right questions. So if we kick it off, David, tell us a little bit about your how you got started in your career, the projects and products you've worked on, and to bring you to where you are today.
Yeah, so afternoon everyone, nice to meet you, David. And cheers Carl for having us here. So yeah, so my background is, I actually started off as a sort of IT consultant, and then quite quickly realized that actually as a consultant, I wasn't able to have the impact that I wanted. I was basically working on all the crap that companies weren't putting their best people on that were kind of being outsourced. So I then joined BT and quite quickly got into what was a kind of quasi-product job, but also a commercial job as well. So I was running the BT broadband P&L, which basically meant setting the pricing, setting the product strategy, but actually also having the product teams that ranged from everything from product network teams into broadband's got a hub, a router, so we manufactured them, into the digital software parts as that. So a product role that gave that real breadth of different types of products. So that was really interesting, really exciting. And then, being totally transparent, I quit, but then was retained. A job came up to basically lead the BT digital team, and I was really clear I wasn't actually, if it had been my CV on the table then, I wouldn't have got that job. It was because I was inside the company, kind of proving myself in a slightly different role, and I thought it'd be an awesome career opportunity. So I got into the BT digital role, and then thoroughly enjoyed that, completely found my love of digital products, building upon some of the experience I'd had, and been through various iterations. BT, we'll talk about the structure, BT bought EE, and now I look after all of basically the shop products that are commerce platforms for EE, and thoroughly enjoy it, and great fun. So.
Very cool, and very broad experience. He's got a lot of experience there to share with us. So I guess most people here are from the UK. You know what EE is, what it does, but nevertheless, tell us a little bit about how EE fits into the BT group and the focus of EE as a business.
Yeah, so firstly, overall, BT Group, everyone's heard of BT. If you've got any complaints about your broadband service, I can't help you, sorry. It's normally the worst job. You go along to sort of dinner and someone's like, who do you work for? You work for BT. Oh, I need to talk to you about my slow Wi-Fi. You're like, oh God, no. But yeah, so BT Group overall is basically split into three big chunks. There's the network division, which is kind of OpenReach, the core. We've got an enterprise bit that's called business that sells B2B. And then we've got a consumer division, which is where I sit. And BT has three consumer brands. BT, which is obviously the predominantly broadband business. PlusNet, which is a kind of value brand. And then E, which is the mobile brand that we'll talk more about here. And really E is the brand that we focused the most on, and we're going to put a lot of energy in as a consumer function. So that's how we're structured. And yeah, so I only work on E, hence the badge and stuff. But yeah, very big area. I mean, so you guys will know us as a mobile phone brand. We do sell broadband as well, but a lot of actually, if you go on our website or our app, we sell a real range of consumer electronics, big in gaming as well. So whilst the focus is the mobile phone business, we are into a lot of other categories as well, and looking to try and expand that over the coming months and years. So.
And in terms of expansion, but also getting a bit more into the technology side of things, how has the tech stack of EE evolved over the past years, and how is that aligned with this overall group sort of digital transformation that's going on?
Yeah, I mean, like any company of the sort of scale, bureaucracy of BT, I mean, overall, 120,000 employees. Just my team, in terms of the team that works on the commerce side of EE, is 500 people. So it's, there's a whole set of people there, and there's a lot of complexity, being really honest. And it's down to the fact that it's the combination of multiple businesses that had their own tech stacks, and we're bringing it all together. So we have one website. I was telling some of the guys before, underneath that right now, our live website has 4 different commerce platforms, which is an absolute nightmare to try and manage and try and coordinate. But we're really clear in terms of the direction we're going, where we've recently done a deal with Commerce Tools, so all of the non-telco products we're going to focus using Commerce Tools, part of the Mac. We're obviously working with Algolia, about to bring on a dropship partner as well. So we're really clear about where we're trying to get to in terms of headless architecture, composable, best of breed, but all exposed through that one app and that one website, and of course our retail and contact center channels as well. I should say one of the things that we talk about when it comes to the tech is you'll often hear telcos talk about a telco-techco divide, and it's kind of this interesting tension, because we are still a telco. It's like, of course we want to become a techco, but actually fundamentally we still sell network services, we still sell you SIMs, broadband lines. So it's a really interesting challenge we've got around how do you find the right kind of recipe of commerce tech that can support those very different types of businesses. There's much more similarity than you might think. So for example, one of the things that makes us awesome as a telco is the fact that we are effectively a subscription business. But actually when you start to think of telco as a subscription, obviously people don't start there. When you start getting into that mindset, it opens up into a whole set of different possibilities and different ways that we can use the capabilities that we have as a telco. So.
Super interesting. And you mentioned a few terms like API and composable, and maybe some of you know what that means, of course, but Algolia as well is an API, so it's perfect for a headless sort of architectural approach. Yeah. And with that in mind, how are your team using Algolia? Could you tell us maybe a little bit about the implementation and how you use search to kind of improve your user experience online?
Yeah, and maybe if I will come to the Algolia point, but just to kind of build about that kind of journey we've gone on, was that actually, I'm a product director, and about I think we've moved past this, but about 2, 3, 4 years ago, the conversation we were having was, what are our products? Because of course, as I said, our products are, mobile SIMs, reselling handsets, selling broadband connectivity, but that's not the product I own. The product I own is our platform, is our is the thing we sell. It's the tech. And for a telco business, that was quite a kind of mindset shift. The one that we've, I think, embraced now and really started trying to understand. And when we really see that the platform can be the product, again, it changes mindsets, changes the way you approach things. And so that has been a kind of key part of the reason we've been able to get the investment, being able to really build this this new capability. Specifically, our focus is, E is a premium brand. E is a brand that, is kind of, positively regarded within the UK. So we had to find a way of making sure that what we were doing is delivering an experience that was appropriate for that brand. And so really, we have gone for a lot of best of breed, and we really see Algolia up there. I know I'm here. These guys aren't paying me to say this, I should say. But right now, we want our search results to be, instantaneous. We want them to be, headless, so that we can put it into as many different parts of the experience as we can possibly get. Specifically, where we are today is we have Algolia live on e.co.uk, and I'll be honest, it's crap. We basically replaced the Adobe search capability. We had to do that really quickly. It's very basic. Hopefully by Christmas, fingers to a couple of things need to sort out, we'll have both improved that Algolia search that exists within the website, and we're also launching on our app. One of the key focuses we have, particularly for our existing customer base, is that we're subscription based, lots of ongoing interaction, really trying to double down on the app as the place that customers engage with us. So we're going to put more and more tactics in to be really truly app first and make that the best place. So yeah, we'll be launching Algolia into the E app before Christmas. So excited to see how that goes.
Yeah, it sounds like it's been quite complex with all the different layers and the sites and so on to get it going, and starting with one bit and then progressing through the rest. And at the end, we'll talk a little bit about what you want to do with search as well in the future. Talking a little bit about tech and moving to composable, you got to choose different tech vendors like Algolia, Commerce Tools. How do you sort of evaluate Algolia or other tech vendors versus competitors? What's important for you in EE when you're selecting a new tech partner? Yeah,
because traditionally telcos love to think that they can build things rather than buy. Yep. So I think we've been bringing a lot of kind of focus in terms of actually partnering with the right companies. So for me, there's kind of, when we're choosing a partner, there's three key things that we kind of look at. Of course, it needs to be the right product. So in terms of the right product features, the right technical spec, the capabilities need to be, best of breed, as I said. And all things like headless, API are all kind of a given now. But it's not just about the tech when we're assessing partners. It's also about, of course, it's about commercials as a second vector. But actually, probably an equal thing to the product is the type of company, the way that they want to work with us. And I almost ban the word supplier now. I hate the word supplier. It is partners. We are all working in this, creating this capability together. And so, often I'll put some of our partners together with their competitors and say, how are you guys going to work together to improve our experience, to improve what we're launching? How are you going to make us a better business, a better customer experience? So the way that partner works, the way that they see us, their intent around investing in us and trying things with us, like coming to us, hey, we've got this idea, this is how it could work, let's invest together and move forward. That's super important as well, because I don't just want to buy a product that exists today. I want to invest in a partnership that's going to be many years strong. So that's super important. So yeah, product capabilities, commercials, of course, but then also that kind of strategic partnership are the three key things we really look for in any partner.
Great. And when you're working on these bigger sort of transformational projects, I guess at the essence you've got, I want to talk about measuring success basically. So you've got your business goals, you've got sort of goals within each deployment and so on. How do you measure success? What does it look like for you? How does search maybe help you deliver on those business goals?
Yeah, I don't think we're anything particularly revolutionary here. We are ultimately like any big scale commerce business. So we have literally millions of customers hitting our digital touch points every single week. We are looking for conversion rates, average basket values. We are looking at our customer CSAT, and obviously the cost base that underpins that. And the reality is, in kind of we have a complex world just now, as in multiple different commerce platforms that underpin things. So the key thing that we're looking for from Algolia is just helping customers get into that right journey as quickly as possible. Yep. But also recognizing our context. So I was sharing with yourself, Carl, and James from Algolia earlier, is that, and some of you guys will tut and go, oh my God, that's crazy. Right now we have 4 different PDPs for one iPhone. And so you can imagine the complexity that creates for search. But actually, how we work with you guys to solve that problem, to get customers into the right journey, is ultimately the right measure of success. So, we are a commercial business. It all comes down to, are we getting customers products into baskets,
yep.
getting those baskets across the line, and actually getting products in customers' hands, and are they loving it?
Yeah.
It's the basics of it. So.
And like you said, it's a partnership, because as you said, the implementation's potentially not basic, but it's, you're starting off with Algolia and you're going through the journey to really transform. We have a whole bunch of features that potentially they'll take on board later, AI synonyms, AI re-ranking, and all sorts of things. But when you're starting off with a complex base, it's not as easy as just building from scratch, a whole site. So
yeah, we talked about this earlier, because again, part of my team, when we talk about getting into a new vertical, like we're trying to expand more into consumer electronics, some of the guys come and go, hey, David, it'd be really cool if we could just have a separate website, a separate app over here, and it'd just be completely greenfield. And I get that, right? Of course it'd be easier. But our right to play, and the reason why EA as a brand can get involved in some of those verticals, the reason why we have, a good CapEx budget, a good OpEx budget to invest in this, is because of the customer base, because of those telco foundations. The customers are coming to those touch points, so we have to embrace that complexity rather than kind of fight against it. Obviously, there's a big job to simplify, but it's not about creating islands on the side. It's how do we bring it into. It's ultimately the E brand is king, and everything has to sit under the E brand, and it's all got to interrelate.
You mentioned something earlier which just stuck in my mind. You mentioned that internally there's a bit of sort of change management or change in mindset, because the company wasn't seeing the digital product as a product itself, and you had to kind of change that. And so I'm wondering, did you have a challenge sort of getting business buy-in to do these transformations? And can you tell us a little bit about how you built the business case internally to get that sort of buy-in?
No, I can. I guess this story starts with a failure, in that we wrote a strategy paper, and we called it, we called it the digital business strategy. It was effectively a digital transformation business case. And the reason why it failed, ultimately you could argue it didn't fail because we got a lot of investment, but ultimately it failed because it wasn't rooted in the business strategy. It was a strategy for the sake of transforming digital, and it was kind of about cost-based reduction ultimately as a business case. So we got some money, but it never really got the air at our board's table. It was talked about. People weren't really clear what we were trying to do. And so the reason I said it was a failure, because, like I say, it kind of petered out a bit. But then what we then did, as we started to really re-clarify what our e-business strategy was, how we were going to take the brand to market, how we were going to talk about E, how we wanted to revolutionize it, we then made the business case underpin that, and we showed how actually that tech investment was supporting that business strategy. And it went from kind of not indifference, but kind of it not being the top priority, to this is the most important thing we're doing. It's the thing we talk about with our CEO 3 hours every single Wednesday, and it's completely transformed how it's approached. So yeah, linking that not a digital transformation strategy, but into a business strategy was the key thing that really got the buy-in and the investment. And to the stage where actually I'm now saying no to investment because we just can't scale fast enough. I've been asked to look at, can we double our team for next year? I don't want to double the team. I want to kind of just make sure we get some wins in the bag. So.
Yeah, baby step, one step at a time, and then it's not a sprint. It's interesting. Yesterday I was walking around, and there's a lot of presentations talking about AI. There's companies who actually are doing it. There's companies who say they're doing it. You know, we have an AI-based new product called Neural Search. If you want to come, you can see it's conversational type search. It's fantastic. But I'm just curious, what is, you know, with all the Gen AI and all these different new functionalities, what's EE's perspective on this, if there is one, just out of curiosity?
Yeah, I mean, I think if I'm really honest, we are not super clear. We know, well, we're super clear that AI is going to play a massive role in the future. I think we're not kind of going, right, we're just going to put all of our eggs in this one basket. It's going to be, I think AI is going to be kind of omnipresent. So for example, you know, we have, like many companies, conversational chatbot, which is called Amy, A-I-E-E and me. I was trying to explain that one. And, you know, we've been debating recently about, you know, how is Amy will Amy come together with search? So actually our customer is going to want to still have, you know, the basics of being able to search versus actually is search going to become much more chatty? You know, personally, I think that there's something quite empowering about search, and just the fact that a customer can just come, right, no, I know what I want, I'm going to go straight to it, and not feel that they have to be kind of guided or helped and stuff. So I think, yeah, clearly going to play a massive role. It's going to transform lots of what we're going to do. Particularly, I think, in some of the creative spaces as well. I think that's, yeah, we're spending a lot of time with our design guys on how AI is going to really transform particularly when you can start to integrate our tone of voice, our brand image into kind of AI tools for, you know, like for example, generative AI for image. I think that's going to be completely transformational. But yeah, big topic, lots of money going into it, but not one kind of key message or one kind of sort of silver bullet.
It's interesting you mentioned like the way people search. Is it going to be more conversational? We're seeing that actually like the length of keyword, the number of sort of keywords in queries is growing. You know, people used to use very, very strict sort of a keyword is exactly what they're looking for, and it is starting to change a little bit. And you know, before it was like the average was 2 keywords per query. Now it's becoming 6, but it's different across industry. But there is some sort of, you know, chat GPT-ification sort of going on, which potentially might evolve in the future, it might not, but I think in the future the best type of search is one that matches those two. You know, a bit of conversational also with the keyword matching. Finally, because we don't have too much time, what are the future plans for EE? Where are you guys going with your platform, with your commerce? What's next?
Yeah, I mean, I say we've got a really clear plan for the next couple of years at least, and to be honest, it's still sorting out some of those foundational things. As I said, you know, I really want to get us in a situation where we are purely on Commerce Tools as our commerce platform for our non-telco products. We partner with Salesforce Velocity for the telco products. So basically two platforms. We've got a lot to do to get there. We are going to continue to go into some new verticals, some new areas, and really try and grow the business. I'm sure many of you would have seen that over the summer we did a lot of advertising as a brand in terms of gaming. It's an area I'm really interested in, really excited about. We've got some really interesting plans there. That's just one example of an area where we're kind of trying to expand to really take the brand away from being that sort of mobile telco-centric brand into a consumer-facing kind of tech brand. So.
Okay, cool. Well, we've come to the end of the session, so I would like to thank the organizers, whoever's managing the theater. I'd like to thank all of you guys for being a great audience, and please help me in thanking David as well for being here.
Yes.
And if there's any questions, I can take them now. If we can take them now if you want. I don't know if there's a microphone for questions, or maybe someone's come. If there is, there's probably at least, we've got 3 minutes left. Yeah, any questions? Hands up. Anything? No? Yes, here's a question.
So just wanted to understand, like, the digital products.
Can you speak up? Sorry.
Is it better?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. The digital products, are they mostly pointing towards the end users or for the internal users as well?
Yeah, so again, we think of our the question was, like, what do we think of as our digital products? So we think of our digital products in kind of 3 categories: the ones that our customers use, the ones that our colleagues use, and our platforms. So we even think of each of our platforms as a digital product. So for me, product is as much about the mentality of, you know, what does it mean to have a vision of where you're trying to take your product, It's about having a roadmap and a backlog, effectively knowing the sequence. It's about having your OKRs and your goals. And so actually you can take that approach and apply that to almost anything. And I think traditionally IT organizations haven't. They've thought of sort of technology systems. And so we think of, for example, the tools that we use in our call centers. That is a digital product. The user is our guides, as we call them, in the contact centers. And so you can use all the same techniques you use for products for them. So absolutely, we don't just think of it as the products that we sell to a customer we have a range of products. So.
Any other questions? Yep, we've got a question up. Sorry, I think it's time.
You can ask us at the end.
Come and ask it here.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. If you want more information about Algolia, we're on the Mac Alliance booth F10 all the way in the corner. We can give you a demo of all our latest new neural search products and so on. If you've got more questions, we've got a few minutes here. You can ask David directly. Thank you.
Hey. Did you? Hey, I'll take this off.